welcome or welcome back to 4F Beauty. When will I be YouTube famous? Who knows? What I do know is that today I have used the new Galactic palette to produce this really quite striking eye look. So, if you want to find out exactly how well this palette performs and whether I like it or not, you're just going to have to watch the tutorial. Here it comes. Hey, welcome back from the intro. I'm guessing I've already shown you this, but this is the palette I'm going for today, the I Heart Revolution Galactic palette. 5 mattes, 13 shimmers, 12-month shelf life, Peter cruelty free with the little bunny bit. I don't know if you'll be able to see that with this blooming reflective packaging. There you go. You've also got a bit of a hint about what the shades are inside it now. I haven't swatched this yet because I didn't. Look how beautiful this is. It's like mercury. Use your big mirror that you get in these bars, but look at that. This is why I haven't swatched it yet, because I wanted you to see all of these beautiful marbled shadows before I stick my effing great fingers in and swatch them, which is what I'm about to do. So don't go anywhere. I'll be back instantly for you. I'm back. As you can see, all the swatches are there, but I'm going to put a picture up on screen here so that I can talk through them for you. Now, starting at my wrist on the top row, we've got Supernova, Constellation, Asterism, Black Hole, Cosmic Crush, Moon Rocks, Interstellar, Outer Space, and One Small Step. And you can see that one small step barely shows up at all. So that's obviously going to need spritzing with setting spray or something to get that to show up. Then on the next row we've got Solar Flare, Seen from Mars, Alien Chic, Intergalactic, Dark Matter, Andromeda, Far Far Away, Space Queen, and Eclipse. And I'm back. Hi. Just so you can see, it did smudge the marbled ones just a little bit, so I'm glad I showed you before I did that. That Far Far Away, the black with that shimmer in it, really reminds me of Black Diamond from Jeffrey's Beauty Killer. Swatch is exactly the same as well. So I need to get you zoomed in and put some of these on my face, specifically my eyes. How's your day been so far? Hope it's been a good one. Or if you're at the start of your day, I hope it's going to be a good one. Right, let's get this camera angled right. There we go. Right, now when I look straight ahead, when my camera's not deciding to blur out on me, you can see all of my mobile lid, which means that I don't have a hooded lid. Now if you don't see that, if you only see half of it, you don't see any at all, you've either got a half or a full hooded lid. You can still follow this tutorial. All you need to do, with your eyes open, get a thinner brush like this one and just sketch where you would need your crease to fall. Now, I've got very deep set eyes. One of the downsides of that is even with concealer on, I've got dark circles that won't cover up. The plus side is I do have a lot of space between sort of crease colour, which is my eyeball, and my brow. So I'm going to start off with the Spectrum B06 brush, which is very loosely packed bristles and very fluffy. Now, if you've had to move your crease up, you might want to start off with a slightly smaller brush than this, so you have more control about how far it blends up your eye. But it still needs to be very loosely packed because we're going to blow shadows out with it. Really blend them out, hopefully. Now, one of the mattes in here is Supernova, and I've always said if you've got a colour, oh, that below was me tapping off on my colour switch. If you've got a shade which is close to your natural skin tone or a shade or two lighter, it's always worth just, although I have set my eyes already, it's always worth just doing a quick coating or a quick run over with this, because I do find that shadows from the same palette do tend to blend better on themselves. If you don't have a shade that's close to your skin tone, it really isn't a problem. It's a little quirk of mine that I like to do, and because I very, very rarely, if ever, use a matte highlight shade. If I'm highlighting, I want to look like the Tin Man, thank you so much. That's my aesthetic. Right, cleaning my brush off. And I'm going to start off, I think, I'm going to go into Moon Rocks, which is this sort of actually it's more of a moss green than a khaki. Now, because I'm 44 and because I've lost a lot of weight, my eyelids do move. So there is a risk that I'm going to end up with white patches when I'm blending. The way I get round this is to do windscreen wipers followed by helicopters. Regular viewers know what I'm talking about. Newbies probably think I've gone absolutely nuts. I genuinely haven't, bear with, right? So you start off, I've tapped this off, you start off at the outside edge and you do a windscreen wiper movement backwards and forwards. And the reason you start at the outside edge is if you get a sudden blollop of shadow like that, it's much easier to blend it out this side than it is this side. Without adding any more colour to the brush, now I do the helicopters, which is little tiny circular movements. And then I lift the brush up slightly, reverse the direction of the blades, or the twisting, and go back. And I found that by doing this and then doing, once I'm happy with where it's blended up to, doing the little windscreen wiper movements like this afterwards, I find that actually covers all of my lid, including any bits that decide they're going to fold over and belie my age. This is not acceptable. I normally take my colour up to within sort of 4 or 5 mils of the lowest part of my brow, because I like to pop a brow highlight in, but you take yours to wherever you're comfortable. Regular viewers will probably be able to say that with me by now, but I have got quite a few new subscribers. Welcome to you. Lovely to have you on board. Come join the madness that is the 4F beauty world. I'm now repeating it on this eye. If you're super quick at blending, by all means hit that widget thingy down there and speed me up. If however, like when I first started learning, you keep saying slow down, slow down, slow down, what do you mean you're going to do the other eye off camera? No, come back. I won't do that to you. I'll kind of hold your hand all the way through, because I used to watch, well I still do watch most tutorials on my phone, and I used to get annoyed that they hadn't zoomed in far enough, so I couldn't see what they were actually doing, I couldn't see the techniques they were using, and then they'd speed it all up, or they'd cut out some of the blending and they'd blend it in like 2 seconds flat, and you're thinking, this tutorial lasts 15 minutes, I think I'm going to be late for work. My tutorials are longer, but they do give you a better indication of how long it's actually going to take to achieve the eye look, which is important when you're stuck for time. It also gives you a good excuse to get a drink, get a snack, put your feet up and just relax for a little bit of time, listening to me blether on about makeup. Right, I like those. I'm just clearing off this colour switch. You don't have to buy an expensive one. I got this from eBay, I think it's about £3, £4, and you literally just run your brush over it and it takes all the powder off of your brush so that you can use it again for a different colour without contaminating or, you know, cross-colouring. So I'm going to stick with this brush for a minute and I'm going to go into the khaki in here, which is Seen from Mars. I mean, purples are the most difficult colour. Purples and blues are the most difficult colours to produce, especially when it comes to mattes. But unfortunately, the only purples and blues that I've got in here are shimmers. And it's very difficult to mess up a shimmer shade. So as you can see, I'm doing the same thing again initially. But this time, when I do the windscreen wipe, the helicopters, I'm not taking it up. I'm literally just blending it along the crease line, because I still want to see the lighter shade that we've already put down. But I want this to blend over the top to add some depth. Just going to tilt you up a little bit. Okay, there we go. I'll tilt my head back. Now you can see, to me, in my viewfinder at the moment, that's actually looking patchy. In real life, it isn't. It does look blended. So I really hope when I edit this that it actually shows up, because although I've got a high def camera, the viewfinder does sometimes show things that don't look blended, and then I'll edit it and I'm like, what are you talking about, woman? It looks absolutely fine on camera. Right, I'm going to take all the colour off of this brush. I'm not adding any more pigment. I'm just going to buff very gently where those two colours meet, because I just want to get a nice seamless blend between the two. I'm not doing a cut crease, I don't want a hard line showing where one colour finishes and the next one starts. So I just really want to very, very gently blend those two colours together. I'm really into greens at the moment. I know people say, oh, you got green eyes, you shouldn't wear green makeup. Really? I live for breaking makeup rules, me. Makeup is self-expression, it's art. If you've got green eyes and you want to wear green eyeshadow, then you do that. If you've got blue eyes and you want to wear blue eyeshadow, well then you do that too. So long as you are comfortable with how you look and you're not offensive to anybody, then who cares? Do your makeup how you like. Right, I'm just going to clean the colour off of this brush again and just do the same this side. Just give it a nice gentle buff just to blow the edges out where it meets the lighter colour. I always get one eye that blends better than the other one. Sometimes it's this eye, sometimes it's the other eye. Some days both of them give me trouble. I like that. Right, to clean that brush off, I'm now going to go into a different brush. This is this Spectrum brush I've been using. I'm now going into a brush from the Balm called Crease Love and Happiness. This is double-ended. It's got like a packer style at one end, and although it's still very loosely packed bristles, you can see they're more tapered than on this Spectrum brush that we've been using. So if you haven't got a Spectrum brush and you haven't got this Balm brush, if you've got one these shapes, that will still work. You don't have to have expensive brushes. The first brushes I had were a cheap set that looked like this from eBay, and they were about £3 for a set of 6. And do you know what? They were a little bit scratchy, but they did the job. They put the makeup on. Right, I'm going to go into... I wonder if Andromeda will show up on this. That's the sort of burgundy shade on the bottom row. Let's see if this will actually contrast and be darker than that green I've just put on. If not, I'll go in with one of the shimmers, because I break that so-called makeup rule as well. I put shimmer in my crease. It very much depends on the brush you use. If you put a shimmer on with a packer brush, you see the shimmer. If you put the shimmer on with a brush like this, you can actually get away with putting it through the crease. Right, now this, I'm literally just blending on the crease itself. I'm not taking it up at all. Yeah, I quite like that actually. So I'll just continue to blend that out for a little bit. Just the golden rule with blending is blend until you think your hand's going to fall off, and then just blend for a little bit more. Most shadows, and I I quantify that, most shadows are fine when you blend them. Some shadows you will find they'll get muddy and all kind of, you won't see the individual colours anymore. To be honest, if I get that, I chuck the palette away because I want to be able to blend to the level that I want to be able to blend at, and I always get fallout on this corner. It's got to be user error, absolutely got to be. Right, and I'm going to run that through the crease, same as I did for the other eye. Beauty with this side though is I can actually shut it to blend it. If you're wondering why I didn't shut the other eye and blend it, because obviously this is a lot easier than tilting my head back, it's because I'm actually blind in this eye. So if I close the other eye, there's not going to be much makeup happening. Well, I suppose I could do it as a challenge video one day. Let me know if you want me to try that, putting makeup on with without using my eye that I can actually see with. I think I need to bring that in just a little bit further this side. Just add a little bit of depth of colour there. This is the beauty with makeup. There's no mistakes. It's just happy little accidents. As darling old Bob Ross would say when he was painting. I always keep a fluffy brush for fallout. But so far there's not been a huge amount with this palette, to be quite honest. Right, I'm now going to go into the other end of this brush, and I'm going to pick up one of the shimmers. Decisions. I think I'm going to go in to Out of Space and just pick that up on the tip of the bristles and just smudge that very gently under the lashes, going about 2/3 of the way along the eye. Pretty. And I'm going to do the same this side. I always flinch with this side because obviously I can't actually see how close I'm getting to my eyeball, because I don't see with this eye, so I have to rely on my my viewfinder and my mirror, and of course depth perception with one eye is interesting some days. Most days it's fine though. Nice. Right, I'm going to go back in with the fluffy end, and I'm going to pick up some of Cosmic Crush from the top row and just really gently buff that. It's a slightly lighter purple than the one we've just gone in with. I'm just softening those edges up just a little bit. But again, you can see I've gone in with shimmers on this bottom lash line. So never be afraid of using a shimmer. Just experiment when you've got 5 minutes. Just experiment on the back of your hand or the back of your arm with different brushes and see the different effects you get from different brushes using shimmers. You'd be surprised. I think that's about even. I think it'll have to do. Right, I'm now going to get one of my So Eco brushes. I would tell you what it's called, but really unhelpfully the name of it has actually completely rubbed off. But it is a flat packer style brush, not too thick from the side and domed at the top. And I'm going to go in with Solar Flare, which is one of the blue, or the blue shimmer I should say. Pick that up on the bristle, the tip of the bristles. And initially I'm going to try applying it without wetting the brush, just to see how much pigment and shimmer there actually is in it. Yeah, not great. Definitely needs to go in with a wet brush, that one. So, I've got the Makeup Obsession Pigment Boost Spray here. You can use anything though. You can use a setting spray, you can use something like Fix Plus, you can even use fresh water. And I always put the colour on the brush first, then wet the brush, because I don't like going into a palette with a wet brush, because it can cause a hard pan where the colour sort of glosses and seals over and then makes it really difficult next time you go to use it to actually get any colour off of it. I like that. Right, what I then do is I take all the colour off on the colour switch and then dry it off on my hand before I go back in to do the other eye, so that I know the brush is dry. Again, wet the brush, and pop it on the 2/3 of the lid that we hadn't got any colour on just yet. I mean, you could of course apply this using your fingertips if you really wanted to. I don't like doing that. I don't think that's a very hygienic thing to do. I mean, it's okay for just swatching it on your arm, but actually putting it onto your eye, I don't like using fingers to apply the shadow. Plus with nails like this, I am at risk of losing an eyeball, to be quite frank. Although they are good for when you have dropped pigment in your eye. Getting it back out again. Right. Okay, I like that. I like that a lot. I'm just going to get that Balm Crease Love and Happiness brush again. And I'm going to pick up a tiny bit of the Andromeda and just gently buff where the blue meets that burgundy, just to soften the edges a little bit, because it's not a cut crease, so I don't want any hard edges. I want it to sort of gently blend. Right, let's see how bad this one small step is that wasn't showing up on my arm very well. Right, I've picked it up on a dry brush. I'm just going to try popping it just up under my brow bone there. Actually, that's not that bad. You do get that though, you do get colours that swatch appallingly, but then when you actually use them on the brush, they're not bad at all. I mean, that's certainly going on, isn't it? Let's try wetting it, putting it on the inner corner. Gotta admit, I'm not overly impressed with this particular shadow, given how beautifully pigmented the other ones are. Well, the ones that I've tried so far anyway. This is a little bit disappointing. I mean, it shows up okay, don't get me wrong, and you can see it. But I know they can do golds better than this because I've got palettes of theirs with a gold in, which is better than this. So, okay, I am going to pop off camera for the minute. I'm going to put some mascara on. Where it's a bit of a hot day and my hay fever's playing up, I don't think I'll bother with winged liner today. I think that could be a bad decision. So I'll pop some mascara on and I will be straight back. I'm back. The highlight that I've used on my cheeks is this Revolution Radiant in Rose, and I used the two lightest shades this end. And the lippy that I've gone in with today is actually one of the new NYX lingerie in shimmer. It's in the shade Honeymoon. Now, I don't like the original NYX lip lingeries because they are far too drying. But I've tried the gloss and I liked that, and this is one of their shimmer ones. So far, I'm quite liking the feel of this. Not too sticky, not that sort of gummy sticky feeling, so yeah, I like this. So, what are my final thoughts on the Galactic palette? The shades that I used, I really like. They blended out really nicely. Good depth of shadows there. Shimmers worked absolutely fine, mattes were beautifully soft. The only shade that I wasn't overly keen on was that one small step, which is the gold one, just there. I mean, you can get it to show up, but comparing it to the quality and the pigmentation of the other shades, it is by far, so far, the weakest link in this palette. That being said, I'm really glad I bought the palette. I love the colours in it. I can see this getting used a lot, especially with autumn coming. Obviously I'm going to use this and use more of the colours and do more tutorials with it, and I'll be able to let you know then how well these shades last throughout the day. But I used the Lemon Drizzle palette the other day, which was released at the same time as this, and that was brilliant. Didn't fade out through the day at all. Some of the shimmer did wear off, but it was like 12 hours, and where my eyes are so deeply set, I do get some shimmer transfer anyway. So yeah, if this is like the Lemon Drizzle one, then I'm going to be extremely happy. I hope you have found this helpful, and if you did, it would be great if you could hit that thumbs up for me, comment, share, subscribe. When you subscribe, don't forget to hit that tiny little bell, and when you hit the bell, make sure you choose all notifications, not just some, and then you'll get told every time I upload another one of these films. All that remains for me to say is you'll stay fabulous, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.